One of the most comforting and yet terrifying thoughts is this: God sees and knows everything. On one hand, it's super comforting because when we're struggling and going through trials, we know that God sees and God knows. He's everywhere all at the same time. And to know that the God of the universe sees what's going on in your life and is with you is a powerful thing. On the other hand, though, this all-knowing and all-powerful God sees and knows everything. Yeah, even the stuff we wish he didn't see and know. The latter part of that statement can make us feel vulnerable and exposed because there's absolutely nothing we can hide from him. There's nowhere we can go and he's not there. But here's the ironic thing about this reality. We still try to hide from him. We still try to keep things from him even though he sees and he knows all. This thought makes me think of when we as adults play hide and seek with our kids, because kids are the worst hide and seek players of all time. Last Christmas, I went back home to visit my family in California, where I'm originally from. And when I was there, my nieces and nephews, the first thing they wanted to do was play hide and seek with Uncle Q. That's what they called me. And the entire time they were picking spots that were just horrible. They'd hide bent over behind a tree where I could clearly see their butt sticking out, or behind the mailbox as if they're invisible. It was the easiest game of hide and seek ever. Why? Because they were bad at hiding. And so are we. The interesting thing is we do the same thing with God. We try to hide what's really going on with us behind avoiding it or putting it on a front or by acting as if he doesn't already see or know. The whole time we're trying to hide behind something, what's really going on is sticking right out to God. This idea of hiding isn't new though. Mankind has been hiding from God for ages. Jesus knew this was the case, but Jesus also knew that in order to experience real worship with God, we needed to do away with the hiding, which is why in this powerful interaction with a Samaritan woman, he draws a distinction between worshipers and true worshipers. In fact, he said it this way: "Yet a time is coming and has now come when the true worshipers will worship the Father in the Spirit and in truth. For they are the kind of worshipers the Father seeks. God is Spirit, and his worshipers must worship him in the Spirit and in truth." Prior to reading this, I never thought of God seeking a certain type of worshiper. Jesus called them true worshipers. These types of people are people who worship in truth. And even more powerful than that, these are the type of worshipers our Heavenly Father seeks out. It's one thing to approach God and worship him, but it's a completely different thing to worship him in truth. You see, in order to worship God in truth, we have to be humble and vulnerable enough to worship him with full transparency, nothing hidden. And let me ask you, if Jesus was on earth with us today, would he see us as a church full of just worshipers? Or would he see the church full of authentic, transparent, and true worshipers? You see, when we move away from worshiping while hiding to worshiping in truth, we become the kind of worshipers that the God of the universe seeks out. And I don't know about you, but that is the type of worshiper I want to strive to become every single day. So what do you say? We drop the hiding and we become fully transparent and open to God.